So then I'm actually filming this video on the 1st of December. So to get into the Christmas mood, I thought I'd show you guys my calendar. Look at that! It's Kylo Ren from Star Wars. Watch this. His lightsaber went red. So hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now then, first off, I'm going to apologise for the completely random and weird and wacky intro there. Got a new calendar, it's a very cool calendar, so I thought I'd shout off a bit. I mean, why not? I've got no other ideas for intros anymore. But anyway, that's right, today we are already back to talk about another Tom Petty review. Normally I like to mix my reviews up a bit. I'll do a Tom Petty one, then I'll do someone else, then maybe I'll come back to Tom. We just done Tom, and we're doing another Tom one straight off the bat. And that is because next Friday, the 9th of December, not far away, it is the release date of the Tom Petty vinyl box set. And I, for one, am very excited to get them incredibly rare Tom Petty albums on vinyl for the first time. So to build that up, I am doing my Tom Petty album reviews. I'm working my way backwards. I've decided to work backwards because I've actually got a copy of Hypnotic Eye and Mojo on vinyl, so I can actually talk about them too. Then when the box arrives, we can continue to go backwards by talking about Highway Companion, and then the last DJ, Echo, She's the One, and Wildflowers. So yes, it's very exciting, very, very exciting. But of course, there are already reviews out there on Mudcrutch and Mudcrutch 2, for those of you who are interested in them. So in the description, there's going to be a link to my Mudcrutch 1 review, my Mudcrutch 2 review, and my Tom Petty Hypnotic Eye review, which I'd done only a couple days ago. But anyway, today we are talking about this album here, as I say, Mojo, by Mr. Petty. And yeah, so in this review we're going to do the usual. I'm going to give you a bit of information on the album. We're going to go over each track individually, mark each track individually out of 10. Then I'm going to show you my copy of the vinyl record, mark the artwork out of 10. And when all that's done, we're going to add up the scores, divide them by the total number of scores given, which gives us an overall marking for the album. We won't be done there though, because then we've got to take that mark, put it on the album ranking board, see where it ranks compared to other albums I've reviewed here on this channel. So there is a lot to get done. This is a long album, 15 tracks, so let's get started. Tom Petty Mojo. This is quite a interesting album because the opinions on this album are very mixed. Some people really like it, some people really don't like it. I will say straight off the bat, I really do love this album. I think it's a great record, so I am more in the like camp. However, if you catch me in the wrong mood, I can switch camps. So I guess my overall opinion of this, I'm in the middle. I'm like, yeah, it's not too bad, but it's not the best. But the point is with this album, really, I feel, is that it took a very interesting approach for Tom Petty. Because when I just looked at Hypnotic Eye, you could see influences of more jazz-related stuff. This album is very heavily influenced by blues music. And it's a very interesting mixture when you put that with Tom Petty's normal sound. You get quite an interesting album here. So anyway, this is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' 12th studio album. But if you want to include the Mudcrutch album and the solo stuff, this is technically Tom Petty's 16th project. 16th project, that's a lot of work. Not including the Wilbury stuff I'll add there, actually. This was released on June the 15th, 2010. And before I go any further, I'm going to apologise if you can hear background noises. My dog's being stupid. Yeah. Okay, carrying on. Released on the 15th of June 2010. This was the first Heartbreakers album in 8 years. And that's a long time, considering Tom Petty Heartbreakers, one of America's most famous rock bands from the 70s and then 80s. Hit number 38 in the UK, no surprise, Tom Petty's never been too well received here. Well, that did change in 2014 with Hypnotic Eye, really. But, you know, still at this time, not massively well received in the UK. US hit number 2, so close to that number 1. But again, that changed in 2014 with Hypnotic Eye. So, well done, Tom. 2's still a very good position. So, yeah, it was... Petty's intention with this album really was to create a live album. And I think that was influenced from the way he recorded Mudcrutch. Mudcrutch was a 2-week session. He went into the studio, bashed out his track, and then released it. And that's kind of the same approach he wanted to have here. He wanted to go in, just whack out these long jams, which were very heavily blues influenced. It's all tracks on this album were also written by Petty. It's the first time the bassist had returned to this album since Hard Promises, although he did appear on 2 tracks on The Last DJ. So it's a very exciting album, really. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers are back. The band is really, the original lineup is as reformed as it could be. It's got a blues influence, and for me, the blues is music. The blues is the most interesting genre of music. It created rock music. It created a lot of other genres of music that we know. I'm now getting a low battery. Oh my god, everything's going against me on wanting me to make this video. But anyway, as I say, the album is packed. It's 15 tracks, so there is a lot to go over on this record. So, before we go any further, let's just get started on the tracks. Oh my god, my dog. I'm gonna kill it. So, first track up. Jefferson Jericho Blues. Jefferson Jericho Blues. Sorry, messed up the surname there. So, I love, first off, I love Scott Thurston's, hope I'm pronouncing that surname right as well, harmonica on this track. It really brings out the bluesy feeling which they were going for. Some really good rocking vocals from Tom on this track. And again, the idea of doing blues music, and especially making it live, means there's going to be a lot of jamming on this album. And you guys know me, maybe my favourite album of all time, Derek and the Dominoes, that's just packed full of jamming tracks. So I can really appreciate jamming tracks, but again, they have to be done right. Was this track done right? 100% yes, it's fantastic. I love the rawness to it. I love Tom's vocals, so rocking. The harmonica gives it a good bluesy edge. The guitar work is so good, it makes that jam part of the song just feel so alive. So yeah, 9 out of 10, fantastic opening track. Then we get the first Flash of Freedom, which is the only track which isn't just credited to Tom Petty in the writing. It's credited to Tom and Mike. I tell you, she just doesn't want me to make the video. Anyway, a very unique feel to it at the start of the song. It does get a tad overused, you know, how the song kind of starts, has this unique feel to it. And I do agree, it does get a bit overused. And they could have died down on that just to make that sound a bit more special. It gave the song more characteristics. But anyway, it's still very good. Tom's vocals on this track, again, are great. Simple lyrics on this one, kind of a lovey-dovey one, again. But the guitar works so well on it. And it does go on a little too long, I can't lie. The jamming doesn't work as well here. But anyway, 8 out of 10 for this track. Gonna have to pause the video because I'm gonna have to go kill my dog. So now the deed is done, and she's now trying to suck up to me. Now she's going to whack the camera in denial. Where did I put the record? The record is here. I'll apologise about this, folks. I promise you I was prepared. Anyway, track 3. Get back on track. Running Man's Bible is up next. And the song doesn't feel massively different to First Flash of Freedom, which is my main problem with this song. So, I guess the problem here is I could give this song a really high score because I really do like it. The reason I'm not going to give it such a high score, or, a 10, or even possibly a 9, I don't think it get a 10 anyway, but I'll say a 9. The reason it's not getting a 9 is because it doesn't flow well. This song isn't placed very well on the album, I don't think. Taking the song as it is, though, it's a very good song. Has a unique feel to it. The guitar work is, again, brilliant. They know they're doing a bluesy song here, so the guitar work has to be great. The whole album pretty much pulls it off, not just this song. I love the chords on this song as well. It works so well. Balances really well off each other. Just seen a neighbour. Everything's distracting me today. Oh my god. Anyway, song works very well. Incredibly well. Gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's a very good song. Okay, the next track, opening up to side 2 of the first record, The Trip to Pirates Cove. I was going to give this song a very low score, because generally this is one of the tracks which I'm not a massive fan of. However, it's a much slower song, which is definitely needed at this point on the album, because the first 3 songs, especially track 2 and 3, as I say, feel very similar, so we need a bit of a break. We need the album to feel a bit different here. So this is very much needed, and it works very well in that regard. However, the song itself, it's not the most interesting song. I like the echo effect on the vocals at the start, but the fact that it gets used throughout pretty much the whole song, eventually it gets a bit tiring, a bit boring, and even a little bit annoying near the end. It has a very unique feel to it though, so I really can't use, crap on it too much, because I really do love the chorus. It's pretty good. The vocals again great. The guitar work just saves it. The guitar work is fantastic. So I'm going to give this track a 7 out of 10. It's very good. And then we move on to a song called Candy. Candy. Now Candy, this one is the most unique song on the album. I love the emptiness to it. It's great, a lot of the tracks here, there's a lot of instrumentation work, there's a lot of work going on in these songs. And I'm going to bring this down a bit. Candy doesn't have that. It's very much Tom just singing with this drum beat and the guitar. Brilliant. Brilliant. The lyrics are stupid. No doubt, the lyrics are stupid, I don't like that Candy, I sure like that Candy. I don't go for them turn up greens or something like that, The lyrics are just ridiculous, but I love them. It's funny. I do chuckle to myself sometimes when I hear this song. It's great. I really like this song. By no means is it perfect. The lyrics are too stupid for me to give it a solid 10 or anything like that. So I definitely can't say it's that good. But it's a very good song. It's a lot better than what people give it credit for, I think. It's catchy. It's funny. The main thing is it's memorable. It is probably one of the most memorable tracks on this album because it has the most unique feel to it and it has some of the most interesting, wacky lyrics I've ever heard on a Tom Petty record. So this song here is going to get an 8. It's a lot better than people give it credit for. Then we go on to what is possibly one of my favourite tracks on the album, No Reason to Cry. So, not the 70s Eric Clapton album. I know a lot of you are probably going, oh, that sounds familiar. And yeah, it does. But anyway, this song has a really nice feel to it again. Reminds me a lot of Mudcrutch, really. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like it so much, because I really love that first Mudcrutch album. Second one, but the song has, again, just this great chorus to it, which this album kind of lacks. The choruses go very quick. There's a lot of build up to them, and they don't reward us well enough on this album, I feel. But this track does it very well. Again, it has a great guitar solo in it. Maybe Tom's best. I mean, Tom's guitar work on here is great. I think it really shines, especially with his acoustic. But his vocals are probably what lets this song down. I nearly gave it a 10. I can't lie. I nearly gave this song a 10. But Tom's vocals not his best. So I'm just going to give it a 9 out of 10. But a 9 is a very good score. And I really think this song deserves it. It's a fantastic song. And then I Should Have Known It is the next track, which reminds me of Making Some Noise from Into the Great Wide Open. At the start, just the start of the song. Not the whole song, of course. The whole song is a lot more rough than Making Some Noise. And not quite as fun. But it's a nice rocking track. Has a great guitar riff to it. Much better vocals from Tom, because as I say, they weren't his best performance on No Reason to Cry. So yeah, I'm going to give this track an 8 out of 10. It's very, very good performance there. And I'm on to the second record now. So, she's going to start crying again. Anyway, we're going to just have to ignore her now, because I can't keep stopping the camera. Opening up side 2, the second record, is US 41. And this one here, again, the second record, I really feel they hit the blues notes even harder. And you can really hear it here with the acoustic start to this song. It has a brilliant start to it. It sets the record off so well, has great characteristics to it. The lyrics are very good, plus very unique vocals from Tom. I also love the acoustic guitar work, it's fantastic. I do like this song, but the issue I have with it, the start is unique and different, but that only lasts for about 40 seconds. And then when we actually hit the next part of the song, it doesn't change much. It goes on a bit, doesn't mix it up. And I think if it mixed it up a bit, gave us like a pause or something like that, just anything to give it a bit more energy, I think the song would have got an 8, even possibly a 9 out of 10. But for the reason that the song starts so well and starts so great, and by the end of it, you are a bit pleased it's over. The song starts off so well, and it goes downhill, basically, this song. But it is still a good song. I enjoy it, but I can't give it a massively high score because of how I feel about it. I'm going to have to just stick with a 7 out of 10 on it. Then the next track up is Taking My Time, which is a proper blues track, maybe the bluesiest track on this album. The guitar work on it shines here, that's for sure. I mean, the guitar work is fantastic throughout this whole album, but on this track, it just really shines so well. Has a great build up to the chorus again, but it's not a chorus, it's a guitar solo, which I thought was really clever. You know, Tom was very good at doing great choruses. He delivered so well in Full Moon Fever, Into the Great Wide Open, Wildflowers. Here, he builds up and builds up and builds up to this, what you're expecting to be a really good chorus. Or you kind of hope it's going to be, because there's so much build up to it. And you get this amazing guitar solo. I think it's really clever, really cool, mixes it up a bit. However, the verses, as I say, there's a lot of build up, and then it does it again. There's a lot of build up, and a lot of build up, and a lot of build up. And, dare I say it, by the end of the song, you generally are pretty pleased it's over. It's a very good song, but very happy when it does finish at the end, unfortunately. Again, it is one of them songs, like US 41, starts off with a lot of promise. By the end of it, you're a bit like, that could have been better. So I'm going to give that track a 7 out of 10. Next track up is Let Yourself Go, which is a bit more of a, I mean, it still has that blues feeling, rock feeling, a bit of pop maybe thrown in there. So, yeah, pretty different here, this song, which I like, you know. The harmonica is back. The harmonica is really good again. The chorus is good, but again, the verses are just too long. This big build-up, you know, it's like, oh my god, we're going to get a change now. Lasts about 10 seconds again. So, yeah, again, very similar feelings to Taking My Time. So I'm going to just give this one a 7 out of 10. The next track is possibly, no, not possibly, it is my least favourite track on the album, Don't Pull Me Over. Starts off well, again, love the sound to it, it's a unique sound, the production on this one is actually really good, but I just can't stand the lines in it, the lyrics, you know, don't pull me over, Mr. Policeman, it just sounds so effortless, childish, I don't know, I just really don't like it, just doesn't, I know some people are probably like, well, it's just the lyrics, you know, who cares, the song's still good. And fair enough, I overlook that a lot on songs, but this song just hits a nerve with me, and I'm just not a huge fan of it. However, for this review, I'm trying to be professional. I'm here filming a video, a review for YouTube, so I've got to try and talk with some sense here, because I don't have much sense, there's no doubt to it. So, overall, it's a good song. It has a good feel to it, that's for sure. The vocals are good. I love the piano work on this one, probably the best piano work on this album, but I gave it a 5 initially, but I changed the score at the last minute to a 6 because I thought, I don't think I should be this harsh on it, just because I can't stand the bassist of the song, you know, the bass of it, which is, you know, the memorable parts to it. So I thought, you know, I'll give it a 6 because giving it a 5 would be too harsh, I think, but generally I'm just not a fan of this track, and I know some people are, so we'll leave it at that. That's one man's opinion. And then we get a track called Lover's Touch, which, again, is another very bluesy track. However, again, the song just is a bit of a snooze fest, really, unfortunately. The guitar work on it saves it for me, which is why, again, it's getting just above average. It's going to be another 6. I do prefer it a bit to Don't Pull Me Over, but, you know, as I say, it is a bit of a snooze fest, this song. So, yeah. So we hit a bit of a creep there with Don't Pull Me Over and Lover's Touch. And now we're going to get pulled back a bit. So the kind of little, you know, 15 tracks, there's bound to be a spot on the album where you're not as hooked. And that was that spot for me. But now we're coming out of it. We're seeing the light again. With High in the Morning. And yeah, this is really good. Considering Tom's vocals haven't been great on this album, I don't think. His vocals are much better on Mudcrutch. His vocals are much better on the album to come, Hypnotic Eye. This song here, his vocals are really good. And yeah, it's just fantastic. Again, amazing guitar work. I love that this song seems to have more energy to it, because the other songs were a bit lifeless, let's face it. So yeah, I'm going to give this track a 7. It's a it's a big improvement compared to the other 2 tracks. Something Good in the Morning, Something Good Coming, sorry, is the next track, second to last track. And again, the song feels more like a solo Tom Petty song, really, just without as much thought and as much effort, and without Jeff Lynne there. So it's a good song, but feels a bit empty again. However, the lyrics are pretty good on this one. However, generally, again, it's by this point in the album, yeah, it's running thin a bit, this album now. So I'm going to have to give that one a 6 as well. However, last track, Tom Goes Out on a High Note. Good Enough is a great song. I love this track. Goes out with a bang, really, is the best way to describe this track. The guitar work on it is brilliant. The vocals are amazing. I love the jams on it. This is Tom summing up the album, I feel. And it just sounds incredible, this song. I love the length to it. I love the jams. I love the vocals. I love the lyrics. I just love everything about it. I'm going to give this track a 9 out of 10. So anyway, that is all the tracks there. I just want to quickly summarise, because this is a very interesting album. And I feel this album, you know, why a lot of people dislike it is because it runs thin. It does. There's not as much effort gone into some of the tracks, I believe. There's a lot of build-up for a lot of nothing, I feel, on this album. However, each song on here is great in its own respect. It's just, you know, I think this album is better if you maybe just put on the first record, because it's fantastic. And then don't put the second record on straight away, because, as I say, it runs thin a bit. Maybe come back to the second record a day or two later, and then put it on, and you'll appreciate it a lot more. It's a long album. That is the thing. It's a long album. And, you know, considering each track, the whole album really has a similar vibe going on throughout the whole album. It runs a bit thin near the end. However, I really am on the like side of this album more, because as I say, it's very split. Some people really like it, some people really hate it. I am more on the like side. There's a lot of great moments on this album. There's a lot of great musicianship here, I feel. The Tom is fantastic on it. The guitar work on this is incredible. The bass work is fantastic. Everything about it is great. However, as I say, it just needed a bit more time. You know, I think the fact that they'd done it all live was their mistake. They wanted to capture that live feeling. I appreciate that. And they captured it very well, I'll say. However, for a studio album, I think if some more work had gone into it, some more thought, some more production, this could have been a much better album. Just as good, probably, if not better than Hypnotic Eye. Because I think this album had amazing potential. And unfortunately, it didn't quite deliver as well as it could. However, this is still a very good album. And when people love to bash this album, I don't understand. Because some people absolutely hate it. They say it's Tom's worst album. That is not the case. That is not true. People who say this is Tom's worst album, there's no way in hell I can agree with you. Because the fact is, this is not Tom's worst album. I think this is a very creative album. Tom's taken on some very good blues music here and put out some very good stuff. There's some fantastic tracks on here, which if I was to make a compilation of my favourite Tom Petty stuff, you know, Jefferson Jericho Blues would definitely make it. Candy would make it. No Reason to Cry, Good Enough. Fantastic tracks there. There are some not so good tracks on here as well, of course, which is why the album is mixed. But, you know, people who just put this album down for the sake of putting it down, yeah, I don't get that. I don't. But anyway, let's have a look at the artwork. The artwork on this album is fantastic. Probably Tom's best artwork, I think. I love this cover. It looks badass. I mean, Mojo. What a cool name for an album. I love that. Mojo. That's incredible. I love the picture of the band there. Tom, again, just looks like a badass. I think this is incredible. I love this cover. And then the back cover, they even have like a mini logo for the album, which, again, I love. It's fantastic. You've got all the tracks up the top there. Incredible, incredible stuff. The spine, of course, stands out really good on the shelf. Not quite as good as Hypnotic Eye, because that one looks like a bloody rainbow. But fantastic. And icing on the cake. The gatefold is superb. Look at the gatefold. I mean, it is just fantastic. Love it. I really do. And the records, of course, are a nice lined sleeve, and they're on Reprise. And the thing is, this is actually a really, really nice put together record. Again, you get all the information on here, little inner, which is really nice. Some information, get all the lyrics as well. As you can see, you know, some of the lyrics are a bit scuffy at times, like Don't Pull Me Over, but there has been a lot of thought still gone into the lyrics on here. So, very, very well done. Album artwork here, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And also I want to mention that the vinyl record of this it won't be like this in the box set. And that'll be the one downside to this vinyl box set. I don't think the copy of Mojo will be anywhere as near as nice as this one. This is one of them really nice thick ones where the spine is like really, really solid and thick. You can see because they've kind of almost stuck it together down the middle there, which is really nice. And this record's getting a bit hard to find now. So I'd really recommend, even if you're getting the Tom Petty box set, pick up the original copy of this because it sounds fantastic. And even though, you know, this box set, all the albums are probably going to be remastered and whatnot in it, I doubt that the copy of Mojo in this box will be as nice as this. So that's the one thing in the box set where I'm probably going to be a bit like, oh, well, hey, you know, all the other albums are fantastic. But Mojo, I like my original more. So anyway, I've added up all of the scores which I gave to all the 15 tracks, plus the album artwork. So that gives us 16 scores. So I've added them all up and divided it by 16. And Tom Petty Mojo is going to get out of 10 a 7.5. So yeah, 7.5 for Tom Petty's Mojo. Of course, let's head up to the album ranking board, put it on there even, and see where it ranks compared to other albums I've reviewed on my channel. So of course, yes, here we are back over to the album ranking board, and here it is, Tom Petty Mojo with a 7.6. As I say, I really think this score could have been quite higher with a few tweaks and a few improvements to the album. But anyway, 7.6 is still a very good score. I say anything above a 5 is good, of course, and it is way above a 5, so pretty good. And it's going to go just here on the album ranking board. So as you can see, it actually is just beating out, just right next to it, on a 7.5. Not sure if you guys can actually see it. I say you can see it, and I'm not sure you can. So I'm going to bring the camera a bit closer. Mudcrutch 2, so it has just beat out another Tom Petty related album there by 0.1. Other Tom Petty albums on here, we've got actually a complete repeat of the debut Mudcrutch there on an 8.5, and then Hypnotic Eye on an 8.6. So yeah, Tom Petty so far on this list, not doing too bad. So yes, there we are guys, that's it for another album review. My next album review will not be Tom Petty, as I've done 2 in a row. However, later this week you can be expecting an unboxing of the vinyl box set. I haven't got the first one on order because, you know, that's so much money if I buy both of them. That's being a bit greedy, I think. But I do have the second box set on pre-order. Yes, that's the one which includes everything from Wildflowers through to Hypnotic Eye. So there's a lot to go over on Friday. I will have a box set up. I will have an unboxing up of it as soon as I get it. But anyway, that is it for Tom Petty's Mojo. 7.6. This is a great album. I really do enjoy this album. I think people are way too harsh on it. But then again, there are some people who are a bit too kind to it as well, I feel. But this is a very good album, and I really do recommend it. So anyway, that is it for this video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. There's no reason to cry.